welcome to Intersect, a podcast where we find connection in each other's story. Today we're here with Pastor Moon from the Collegedale Church and with Romany, who is joining us, and he came to Southern all the way from Egypt. We met Romany just a few weeks ago when you came to Southern, and we're excited to hear your story about how God brought you here.
Yeah, I remember meeting Romany at, I think we were at the ministry expo that the Office of Ministry and Mission here at Southern hosts, and people go around to different tables. So my friend Wolf Jadowski introduced me to you, and I think also to Lauren, and said, Romany has quite a story, and you guys need to get to know him. So here you are today, Romany. Welcome.
Thanks so much for the invitation and for being here among you. And it's a great blessing to be here. Yeah, God has a great story for every one of us. And he's really amazing, and he has been so good to me. I remember, 6 years ago, I had no plan in my life. And it was so hard for me, to decide where to go after my middle school. And then I went to Nolian Academy, my high school, and in the first few days, I was told to go back to my village where I came from, and I had some certain issues. And
now, what was the name of the academy again?
Nile Union Academy.
Nile Union
Academy.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and on that time, I didn't know, God, should I continue here, or I should just leave the school and go back to government school? And I didn't know, what to do. And in just one more day, I felt that I'm supposed to be here. This is my place, and this is the place where God has my life in. I stayed there and studied hard, and I got a very high grades, and God kept pushing me, and he never left me. He never abandoned me, and he continued on being by my side.
Now, when you were there, you initially were somewhat discouraged, or felt like, I'm going to go home, or did you go home and then return? Or
No, I didn't go home.
Okay.
I was kind of discouraged. I had family issues. I didn't know what to do. Should I continue? I feel that I am aimless. It's being in a jungle in a new place, first time to be away from your family, and it was really difficult.
So then you were with all that weighing down on you, you started reaching out to God, saying, what do I do?
Yeah, and I started asking him, what's your plan? What do you want me to do? You need to guide me in this. And please, God, have me in your hands. You knew me before I was born. And then I feel that I was supposed to be there. This is the place where I would have my life.
So your grades started to come up, you started to succeed, and was there anything else notable about your time at Nile Union, or what else do you have for us to share from there?
Yeah, at Nile Union, I didn't know about the Adventist belief. And at Nile Union Academy, where I started becoming an Adventist, and where I started to figure out everything and study more and read more Bibles, read more stories, and started to know everything about it. And in my high school, in the fourth year, I became the spiritual leader. Okay. And started leading people to have Bible discussions, Bible studies, and started doing Bible challenges with them, motivating them to get closer to God. And I wanted them to experience God the way I did, because when there's nothing better than having a close relationship to God.
Yeah, for sure. So you said when you came to Nile Union Academy, that was the first time you'd heard of Adventist beliefs. Did you come from a Christian background, or how did you hear about Nile Academy in the first place?
Yeah, I did hear about... No, I didn't hear about the Adventist beliefs before, but we had a church there. I didn't know what it was about.
Okay.
And yes, and I came from a Christian belief. It's Orthodox church, the most dominant church in Egypt. And I didn't know what is Adventist, and
was it Orthodox? Was it Christian, Eastern Orthodox, or what? Do you know what type? Just Orthodox.
Coptic Orthodox.
Coptic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Coptic
Okay.
Orthodox.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, as time moved on, God will never left me.
Okay.
I had a strong inspiration to be pushed that I would have a future from the moment that I got there.
Okay.
And after I was the valedictorian of my higher class of my high school, I didn't know where to go. I felt that I am hopeless, and I didn't know like I have any plan in my life. But I always kept on thinking that God, you have a plan for me. You told me in the Bible that you have a plan for everyone, and your plan is to prosper me and to have a better future. And I don't think that you are a kind of God who leaves his children. You are the one who came for us from the beginning. Like you sent your only son to save us. And I don't think this is the time to leave me.
Okay.
And out of nowhere, I didn't know how, I got the opportunity to go to Middle East University in Lebanon.
Okay. So from Nile Union to Middle East University, and you're kind of leaning in as you're saying, well, what does my future hold? You're kind of leaning into that promise from Jeremiah 29:11 through 13, where God is saying, I know the plans I have for you. So then you end up at it's Middle East College?
Yeah. I went to Middle East College there, and also I feel that kind of I need to build a stronger relationship with God, because I needed to experience Him more, because that was not my final destination, and He needed to lead me throughout my life to support Him more, and I needed to everyone else to experience Him the way that I did. And over there, some issues happen, and some other difficulties and some problems took on place, and then I wasn't able to continue there. The crisis in Lebanon, and then I said, God, I don't know what to do. I cannot continue there, and I cannot go back I cannot stay in Egypt and study, and I don't know what to do. Kept on praying, and as you know, that praying is the most powerful weapon that we do have, and the best communication between us and God.
Yeah. In those moments, as you were praying and the answer hadn't come yet, what were you sensing in those times? Or what do you experience when you're talking to God and you're seeking His direction, and yet you're not 100% sure what's going to happen? Is there peace that you experience, or how would you describe your experience as you're pouring your heart out to God?
In fact, it depends like how close your relationship is with God. Because if you have a good, closer relationship with God, you experience more peace. For me, it was like kind of between, because that was kind of the future. And at the same time, I don't know what to do. Like sometimes I just praise Him of my coming here. And at the same time, I just say, God, please like help me to figure out this. Like you have moments where you can have peace, and there's moments where you cannot experience that peace. Because, like on the other side, you have Satan is God trying to distract you.
It's like an internal struggle.
And I applied to so many places. I put a list and I said where to go. And I didn't ever expect that I will be here coming to Collegedale.
Wow. Now, did you say that you also, even though you didn't know what was going to happen, you would praise or thank God for what He was going to do? Is that?
Yeah, I have to thank Him for everything. No matter what happens in life, I have to thank Him, because there are some other people who don't have what I do have, and I have to be thankful and grateful for God for even the breath that He is giving me every morning.
Are there any specific details about the way that you saw God making it possible for you to come here to Southern, or making it possible for you to end up at Nile Academy, where it was just something that you clearly were like, God intervened in a way? Can you recount anything to us about how He might have intervened or acted in a specific way that was notable to you?
I think He possibly intervened in everything, like from the beginning until now. Because, like if you thought about it from the beginning, I don't think that if you found me in the street where I was, and you see this guy, you won't ever think that this guy will go to an academy and then he will go to Middle East, Lebanon, and then he will end up in Collegedale. And it's all the process that took place by God's hands.
How did you find out about Collegedale? Like, how did you find out about Southern, and then the connect? Like, how did God kind of work through people and circumstances to land you here?
Yeah, I knew my work supervisor. He's from Collegedale.
Oh.
Yeah, his name is Lol Jenks.
Okay.
And he came to my high school when I was in my 9th grade.
Okay.
And I worked with him like for almost 4 years.
So he was at Nile Union.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like he almost knew who I am.
Okay.
And he was the one who was responsible for my class, for everything. And he was in charge of all the work there.
Okay.
And then my junior year, I started speaking with him. Like, it was COVID, and he needed to come back here.
Okay.
And I spoke with him, and messages kept on going. And then let's pray about it.
Okay.
Because praying opens doors out of nowhere.
Now, when you were talking to him in your junior year, you were still in high school.
Yes.
Were you talking to him about college then?
No. Yeah, at college, but not specifically here.
Okay.
Like, just in general.
And he was saying to you, let's pray about it?
Yeah, because, like, our high school in Egypt is not accredited.
Okay.
We don't have any place to go, and we don't know what to do.
Oh, so to try and go to a college, the high school didn't have accreditation.
Yeah.
So that was another obstacle to try and overcome.
That's one of the reasons, like, where I felt kind of disappointed. Because, like, imagine where you feel that you are stuck between a rock and a hard place, and you don't know what to do. Like, you're not able to move out and continue what you want to do. And at the same time, you cannot stay because you need to have military service there.
Oh, okay.
So it's really so difficult to be in this situation.
Wow. And so you're here. Did you enter the military before you came here?
No.
So how did that work out that you didn't have to be in the military and you could come here? Yeah,
that worked out by going to the college, like having a procrastination for the military. And this is another story that I'm going to tell you about it.
Okay.
After going to Middle East and thinking to go to another university, and then, as I told you about Mr. Lal, he was in touch with the Sabbath school over here in Collegedale, and they have the sponsorship of me going to MEU, and then of me coming here. Like, the process of coming here, it took 1 week or almost 10 days, 1 week to 10 days. Yeah.
So it was just kind of like...
Wow.
Yeah, like to get the visa, the I-20 and everything. Like, I guess, like, this, it was like this. Like, it was well planned. Like, I got the I-20 on Tuesday. I paid for the CVIS, international CVIS for the Homeland Security here on Wednesday. Booked the appointment on Friday. Did an emergency request on Saturday, and got accepted on Monday. And I have my interview on Tuesday early morning.
So from start to finish, like, you saying, I'm going to the United States, and actually then, like boarding the plane was like 10 days, 7 days?
Yeah, like, it took like 7 days. Like, I didn't think about, like, coming here. It was just a suggestion from Wolf here, Mr. Wolf.
Yeah.
And like, where I can be here, and it's an Adventist university, and yeah.
Wow. 7 days.
Yeah, 7 days. And I
so
can't believe
it. So you marched around the walls of Jericho, and on the 7th day, boom, you're on a plane.
Yeah, and like, to book an appointment, like, it was at the end of like on the 20th of August on the time, and you're not sure, like, how it will go there. and I need to do an emergency, and I didn't think that my emergency request will be accepted. Like,
wow.
It was all well planned.
Wow, God had gone before you.
Can really see how he was intervening in that. So you said you were at Middle East University first, and then you ended up switching over here. What was kind of the journey from going there, and then you ended up choosing Southern? Like, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, when I was in Middle East, before coming here, I was thinking about Andrews, and I'm not sure. Like, I said, God, like, I need a place to go because I cannot continue there. And being in Middle East, it was good, but at the same time, the Ministry of Higher Education of Lebanon, they cannot certify my high school too as well. Like, I still have the same problem. And like, it's like you got out of one issue, you got into another one. And I still face the same problem. And then Middle East, I knew one of my friends there. He said that he's coming here to SAU, Southern Adventist University. And I told him, good luck, man. I don't think that I will be there because I don't know what God's plan for me.
Yeah.
And coming here, it was so late. Like, it was at the beginning of August. Like, the process and application and everything.
Didn't see how it would even be possible. How do you know when your friend started the process to prepare to come? Like, how long his timeline was?
I think he applied like in spring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so, and it probably took longer than 7 days, I imagine.
Yeah, of course. It took so much, like more than 2 months, I think, or 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And one of the other things that I can tell about God, like he wanted to tell me, give me the message that he exists, like he's there, he's by my side. Is my military problem, like the papers.
Oh, yeah.
The military in Egypt is mandatory.
Yeah, okay.
And in order to travel, to get out of the airport, you need to have a traveling permission. And my traveling permission was almost expiring. And after I got the visa, I said, well, I need to do the traveling permission. This process takes like 30 to 40 days. And by mistake, I did the file like not correctly.
Okay.
Like I had some problems on uploading them. It took like 2 weeks. I don't know how, like I said 2 weeks. It's a short time. And I said, okay, well, it's fine now. I can go. And then I went to submit the papers. And they said, no, you cannot do that. There's a problem in your file. You need to start the process from the beginning again. I said, I got no time. The university is starting like in less than a week.
So you'd already submitted the papers twice.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
And after the second time, they're telling you, no, you got to resubmit them again?
Yes.
Okay. And you're thinking, there's no time for me to make it to Southern.
I said, no way. Like, there's no time for me. And quickly, I said, okay, let me try. God, please, you got this. Please, like, I prayed, like, God, please do something about it.
Yeah.
And in 24 hours, like, the process that took everything was almost done.
Oh, wow.
In 24 hours from submitting your papers to the military.
Yes. And the following day in the morning, I went and got the traveling permission.
Wow.
Like,
so from 40 days down to 24 hours.
Yeah. I did it like Sunday, Sunday evening. Monday afternoon, everything was processed. Monday afternoon, and then Monday afternoon, late afternoon, I submitted the documents. It wasn't even like almost 24 hours. And then they told me like on the second day, in the morning, I'm going to have my traveling permission.
So what do you feel like this whole experience has taught you about God?
Taught me that there is nothing impossible with God. It teaches me that we have a God who does miracle after another, and His presence in our life is so essential, and He's indispensable.
Mm. And if you were, somebody was, I guess, questioning whether God could act in this way in their life, or, just maybe discouraged because they've been waiting on God for a long time for him to somehow come through in their life. What do you have any kind of thoughts you might share from your own experience about, just that process of waiting on God when you're not sure what's going to work out, when you're kind of like, I'm not seeing how this is even going to come to be? Anything that you feel like the Lord has taught you through this journey that you would say to them?
Yeah. This experience taught me that everything comes in the right time. Not our own time. It's in God's time, because God's time is perfect. I don't know what I do have, but He knows what I do have. And He does everything, like He has everything in control, and I cannot control His plan for me. His plan is made for me. And waiting, guys, it's supposed to be like to worship God more, because He knows what's best for me. And I think my experience of going to Middle East University was just like kind of a key that was preparing me to come to Southern here.
In what way to prepare you, would you say?
Whether academically and above all spiritually.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting to think about. Lauren, what do you think about when you think about this idea that God would use certain experiences to prepare us for other experiences?
Yeah, for sure. I think like sometimes you can be in certain circumstances and just wonder like, why is this happening? Why is this happening to me? Like you said, you kind of had a hard time at Middle East University, but like you were talking about, God has a time for everything. So even in these hard times that you were in, like that was just God showing you that He's like, it doesn't make sense now, but I have a better plan for you later. And I think that you just showed incredible faith by just trusting God, and you were just kind of like going kind of blindly almost just with your faith. And I think this is a really inspiring story, because just no matter what, God's timing is perfect.
Yeah, and in Ecclesiastes, he said that everything has time under heaven.
Yeah, He makes all things beautiful in His time, as a song that we used to sing when I was in camp. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Well, maybe that's our takeaway from today when we talk about, the intersect of story, like here in 7 days, God opens the way for you to be here at Southern. And I think about them marching around Jericho and the walls fall. And of course, in 7 days, He created the earth, and all these things that we feel like would take way longer when God decides to go to work. It can just like turn on a dime. And so I think that's pretty kind of remarkable to think about. And maybe just as we sign off today, I would encourage you as a listener to look for the ways that God might be inviting you to wait and not to grow weary or lose heart. To look for the ways that God might be inviting you to just kind of step out in faith and fill out that application or that form for like the third time when you're thinking there is absolutely no way through. And yet, like when God told Moses to, raise his staff and the waters were going to part, I suppose he could have scratched his head and like, this makes no sense. And the Egyptians are barreling down on us. Pardon me. Sorry for the reference to Egypt. But I know that, God had true people from Egypt that came out with the Hebrews through the sea. So, and honestly, at the end of the day, we're all, kind of just broken. So, but I think that's the thing, is God's timing is amazing. And as we wait upon Him, and as also that we kind of step out in faith, we see Him show up, and we find our story intersecting with His story. Or I think if you're listening today, you probably go like, I can really identify with Romany, because I know there's times in my life I might be in a waiting time right now, or I might have already, seen God come through. But any concluding thoughts, you guys? That's all I got.
Well, I'm just very inspired, and I just think it's so cool that you heard about Southern from that one person that you knew at your school. Like, if you hadn't talked to them a lot, I forgot what you said their name was, but if you hadn't talked to them, you wouldn't be here today. And I just think it's crazy how God uses even just like a little person from one place we were once to like totally flip our life around. Like, look, you're here in a completely different country. So I think that's just bringing back, how our stories help connect us with God. And there's another intersection that stood out to me from your story.
And you said your friend was Lowell?
Yeah.
What was his last name?
Lowell Janks.
Okay, so on 3, we're going to all say thanks, Lowell, and then that'll be our sign out. So ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thanks, Lowell. Thanks so much for joining us on Intersect. We hope you'll join us next time. Bye.